This week on the Brody and Mo In-Law Show.
Let's go to the old mall kiosk, to the Build-A-Dad kiosk.
Yes!
Let's, from the feet to the head, build us the perfect dad.
You, I, and every Arizona Diamondback fan shed a tear because it was the coolest thing that we had probably seen since 2001 in Arizona Diamondbacks baseball.
Welcome to the Brody and Mo In-Law Show, where we commiserate about Arizona sports, collaborate on being dads to daughters, and conversate about the pressing matters of today. Brody, I'm starting to get some pushback. I'm getting pushback from our 21 subscribers.
21?
21. We jumped up a notch after last week.
Giving it up. Thank you for everybody who's subscribing to us.
People really love killing them Disney princesses.
There's some animosity out there.
That was the best content we've ever produced.
That was something else, you guys. Last week, go back and watch last week's, listen to it. I want to say a thank you to my brother, Cole, for coming on. I appreciate you. I love you, brother. What a great guest host. We hope you come back.
Yes.
And visit us again. And that got a little, contentious. That got a little, confrontational.
I'd mentioned before that I felt like we weren't yelling enough as a sports podcast, which seems like a prerequisite for being good at this. If you listen to any other sports radio or podcast or media, you just got to yell a lot. And we haven't done that. We've been pretty civil, pretty tame, but get them Disney princesses going, and we had some very strong opinions.
It's like I felt like I morphed into a creature that I was not familiar with that just was really upset at you. And I don't know if I liked that creature. That got out of control really quickly. But
I liked it. I liked that creature.
I did too. I mean, I didn't like the creature I turned into, but I'm sticking by it. And if I have to go there, I will go there again. I just never thought that I would get that animated over Disney princesses. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, put me in a hockey game, and Mo, you will attest to this. We've been to a hockey game together. I feel like I morph into a very close version of that. But that was on the other opposite end of the scale.
Yeah.
That
I was on the receiving end of it that time. Whereas at the hockey game, I was with you. I was on the same sideline. But with this one, I felt the wrath of it, and I admit I would not want to be the opposing hockey team if you were in the stands.
I would have.
It would shake me to my hockey playing core.
Yeah, I can't really skate very well, but I would if it came down to it, and I needed to go out there and brawl. If I needed to be the enforcer, I'll go out there and I'll try. I've got your back. That's what I'm saying. And apparently I have your back in Disney princesses too. I never would have thought that in my 32 years of life. Disney princesses, I will fight you. It was a little aggressive.
All that to say, this new group of people has really been pushing back. That's not true at all. By the way, none of this is true. I'm just trying to get us into the show here the best way I know how. No one has said anything about this. It's just in my own head. I have started to push back on myself about having used the word conversate in the beginning of this. I was always on the fence about this because it's not a real word, right? Like, conversate is like slang English.
Yeah, but I don't English well either, so I let it slide.
I want to justify my decision. I really wanted the alliteration of 3 C words in a row of commiserate, collaborate, conversate. I wanted them all to rhyme. I thought about it in my head. I was like, I should use converse. Converse is the right word. Conversate's not a word. And at the last second in our first episode, I threw all that out the window and said, go with your gut. Conversate
Here it is. Say it with authority, and you have ever since.
Yes.
And that's, a thing about being a sports announcer, or apparently now a dad, of a daughter, is like, you are wrong, but by gum, you are going to stick to your guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am inherently wrong on this, but I could care less, and I'm going to continue to say it.
Yep. It's not
That
about the
is
accuracy, it's about the volume.
That's it. That's right. Exactly. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yep. Speaking of which, that is a perfect way for us to get into talking about some things we know nothing about.
Yay! Things.
Let's talk a little bit about the new playoff scenarios that we've got coming up. We actually have some sports that are going to make, it seems like, a real comeback. We know for sure we've got hockey is definitely going to play an actual playoff bracket.
Yep.
We know the NBA is going to make
NBA,
some kind of comeback in Orlando. That is yet to be seen exactly what it's going to look like, I think. The MLB seems to be the one that's still on the fence. We don't know what they're going to do. They can't seem to reach an agreement between the players and the owners. It's all based on money, of course. That's the crux of the issue. It sounds like as of today, we're recording this Thursday the 18th, it looks like they've reached some kind of agreement about a 70-game, fully prorated salaries to the players season.
Now, it's easy for us on the outside to say, like, just meet in the middle. I mean, we're probably talking millions, if not tens of millions of dollars that are going to go to players or to owners over the course of 5 games. I'm sure when COVID started and they canceled the hockey season midway, they canceled the NBA season midway. My first reaction was NFL has got plenty of time to figure out what they're going to do. Okay, so the NFL, they have some stress, but they have a long time before their season officially starts. We've talked about that a little bit as it is, but I thought MLB had the least amount of stress on them at the time, disregarding the NFL, because their season hadn't officially started. They got a few spring training games underneath their belt, obviously not a full spring training, but they hadn't started the season, so they didn't have to come to a conclusion on the season. And this thing has morphed into an ugly, evil ball that is just picking up steam, and it seems like every day we're seeing a drama unfold in front of us. And I watch sports to not have to deal with that type of drama. If I wanted that type of drama, I would watch The Desperate Housewives or some other show.
That might still be a show.
Well, I don't know. The Bachelor, is that a thing? Then I would watch that.
Okay. Nothing on this earth could make me watch The Bachelor.
Yes, I agree with you completely. And we can get into The Bachelor later and how awful that is.
I refuse to talk another second about The Bachelor on this show. We've devoted too much time already.
But I'm really just disappointed in all avenues. I see it from both ways. I really do. As a third party person, I'm not in the media. I'm just a fan of sports. And I see how the MLB players want to get paid. They're the ones putting their lives literally at risk of getting COVID. They're the ones that have to be out there. Us as fans are not going into the stands. I don't see any scenario in which they're having fans in the stands at all.
Nope.
So I get where the players want to protect themselves. And then I also get where this is a business and people buy franchises of sports or of restaurants. So, you buy into a franchise to make money. And I don't think that MLB owners are going to make money this year. I don't think that they're going to make money this year. It's if they do, it'll be very, very slim. So I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the baseball conundrum we're in?
I guess I side with the players a lot more than I do with the ownership. And part of the reason that is the case is because it seems like everything I've heard, and they've been able to spin it their own way. Like, we only see what they let us see of this whole ordeal. And I see a lot from the players' side of it because I follow a lot of them on Twitter. I follow Max Scherzer, who seems to be the head of the Players Association when it comes to these negotiations. He's kind of the spokesperson for them. And he just has been constant in his message of tell us when, tell us where we want to play. Tell us when, tell us where we want to play. And then I
think Mike Trout did the same thing this week.
Yeah, Mike Trout too. And I guess one of the reasons I side with the players over the owners is every business owner right now in the midst of COVID is going to lose money. And they knew that coming into, if you're going to buy a franchise, then you have to have the expectation that you're going to have some lean years. Like, not every year is going to be a money-making endeavor for you, but you have employees you have to take care of. If you owned a McDonald's, you would not expect to be making a lot of. That's a bad example. People are driving through McDonald's more than ever before.
Try another one.
You cannot go to McDonald's right now because the line's out the door.
If you were a third-party coffee shop, let's go like that.
If you owned Macy's coffee shop in Flagstaff right now, you should expect to lose business, but you should not expect to like put all of your employees out. Obviously, you're gonna have to cut some, but
Yeah.
like it's a different thing with sports. You sign these people to long-term contracts. They're celebrities as much as they are employees, and you know that this is going to be a somewhat temporary thing. So expect that you're going to have a terrible year this year. Bite the bullet and prep for the next couple years when people are going to be ravenous for sports again.
And the other thing to also remember, so I'm on both sides of the fence, like I said, but I think that what Mike Trout and Max Scherzer are doing is speaking volumes on behalf of the players, because those are arguably the two biggest names in baseball over the past few years. Mike Trout was on his way to being perhaps one of the best baseball players to have ever lived. I mean, he is very close to being in the Hall of, well, he's not very close now, but he's on pace to go to the Hall of Fame. He's a superstar in baseball. Say the same thing about Max Scherzer. So you're getting players like this that are chiming in. More players look up to them, and they're starting to build steam on this. So if I could play devil's advocate and side on behalf of the business owner for just because we have to argue with each other apparently to get viewers. Let's take some owners that also have businesses outside of the sports arena. And I'm going to shift sports for a second. I'm going to take Alex Morello for example, and he owns the majority stock of the Arizona Coyotes. He also owns businesses in Vegas. And if you guys have been following the news any time recently, Vegas has been just depleting of money, except for extremely, extremely, extremely recently. Vegas completely shut down. All restaurants, hotels, shows, and that is a gig economy if there ever was one, is Vegas. So he's losing money not only on the sports side, he's losing money on his traditional business side. So at some point you have to decide, like, this is a business. I cannot afford to continue to lose 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. At some point we have to draw a line. And so if we go back to baseball, there are some smaller market teams that are probably losing less money. Florida Marlins, let's be honest. They've had like 7 people go to their game since 2010. No offense to the Florida Marlins, it's statistics. So they're probably not losing as much as the New York Yankees, which are packed every home game or packed every away game. And people are tuning in, in New York, when the Yankees come to Arizona, they might have a 7:00 first pitch here. That's 10 o'clock there. They're still waiting up to watch the Yankees. So those television revenues are continuing to climb. So at some point, the owners have to say, like, we can't continue this paying players, paying our staff, paying all of our employees without generating some form of revenue. I kind of got to side with the owners at some point.
I think I don't argue with that at all. They have to make good on their investment. But it is when you
there's a medium here.
When you buy a franchise, this is not a short-term investment. You have to be
exactly.
You have to expect, much like you would if you were buying stocks or investing in a 401k. Like, you're not expecting this to be a 1-year flip it kind of thing. Like, you don't make money this year. You should have had that in the business plan somewhere, that there's going to be a year you're going to lose money, maybe a lot. Maybe your team is the Florida Marlins for like 5 years in a row and you don't get anybody. But then 10 years down the line, maybe they start doing something and you've got fan revenue that jumps up and you've got money to put towards your cap that you can bring in some big name people. That's the bent of that kind of investment. So if you're not thinking long term, if 1 year is enough to bankrupt you completely that you can no longer own a franchise, then your business model is bad.
100% agree.
Let's talk about a very non-controversial part of the plan to bring back baseball, something that everybody agrees
Sure.
on, which will help us get back on the same page, and that is bringing the DH to the National League. Just a real 100% uniform across the board, agreeable topic.
Nobody argues about the DH.
No,
Okay.
everybody, as they should, as all good God-fearing Americans do, like the DH.
Okay,
Right,
so why
Brody?
don't you,
We
why
all
don't- why
like
don't-
the DH.
Why don't you? Yeah, everybody just, it's like, hey, when water gets cold, it turns into ice. Yeah, we all agree.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Fact
same thing
of
with the
nature.
DH. Mo, what's your opinion on the DH?
Good. The DH is good. The DH should be
Let's
in
hear
the
it.
National League, and it should stay beyond this COVID-reduced season. I want to see JD Martinez at the plate instead of Bartolo Colon. 100 times out of 100, I want to see that. And I feel like
Let's
it's
go.
that
Keep going.
simple.
What do you got?
I feel like it's that simple. I don't want to watch I don't want to watch Robbie Ray swing a baseball bat. If I could see someone else do it. And I know that then the next argument everybody makes is they're professional baseball players. They should be able to hit a ball. They're spending the entirety of their time in the specialty of pitching. This is a different game than it was back in whenever, the 40s and 50s, when pitching looked nothing like it did today.
True.
I just would much rather see a guy who can go up and hit.
I don't have to play devil's advocate on this because I disagree. We've seen JD Martinez. He has 231 home runs. 231 home runs. And I would say he is one of the top few best midseason pickups of any player of any, maybe even any sport, right? And I love JD Martinez. He's hit 231 home runs. I've seen him hit a couple of them. I can't say I've seen all 231. Bartolo Colon. How many times has Bartolo Colon hit a home run?
1.
He's hit 1, and it was the most fun thing I have ever seen and got more media coverage than any of JD Martinez's 231 home runs. I guarantee it. If you look it up on any media site, he got way more clicks and way more likes and way more fun watching him swing a bat. Yes, he's had a ton of at-bats, and yes, Bartolo Colon has swung and missed way more than he hit one. But all it took was one. All it took was one, and he got it out of the park, and it was fantastic.
But that
Okay,
can't be. That
you said-
cannot be the metric that you use to gauge whether it's a better across-the-board system, though, right?
Also, but so first of all, I'll get to that too. But I'm so glad that you brought Bartolo Colon because I would have never even thought of that until you had said it. So I'm really glad that you did. But also, let's think about a complete athlete in this regard. Zach Greinke. Okay, well, he's really good with a bat. We've seen him become a DH on his off day and be able to handle a bat. Be able to lay down a bunt, be able to, and you're seeing defenses play the mental game of what if they have a pitcher that can hit. The defense has to adjust to that. If JD Martinez comes up, I know what he's going to do. I can put my players in the field for that. I can put, I know he's going to try and put one over the fence. I know this. I'm going to play doubles ball. I can put some players there. I get Zach Greinke. Is he going to bunt? Because we know he can lay down bunts. He can swing the stick a little bit. So we got to put players involved in that. I want to also remind you of a very specific game in which a relief pitcher whose nickname is the Beard, Archie Bradley, hit a triple during a playoff game. And I, and every Arizona Diamondback fan shed a tear because it was the coolest thing that we had probably seen since 2001 in Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. And you don't get that without a DH. JD Martinez puts one over the fence. I'm excited and I'm thrilled. I'm always thrilled when they do. When a relief pitcher hits a triple, I am jumping out of my seat.
This is a very interesting argument I don't think I expected you to take with this. I'm excited you chose Zach Greinke as your metric for this, because over the last decade, 2010 to 2020, the two best hitting pitchers in the major leagues both happen to play for the Diamondbacks. Greinke is number one, Bumgarner's number two.
Oh, Mad Bum. Yep. Okay.
Of those two guys, weighted runs created, a stat that they track to see offensive potency of a player.
Yeah.
Both of those guys are somewhere in the 50s. There are no other position players in Major League Baseball who come anywhere close to being that bad or worse at the plate. So those are the two best guys over the past decade, and they don't even come close to the worst position player in baseball at swinging a bat. So, like, yeah, Zach Greinke gets to the plate. You're like, he's a good hitting pitcher. He's still worse than any jamoke you pull off the bench who plays offense to swing the bat. I loved watching Archie Bradley hit that. I would have so much rather they had the option to put JD Martinez at the plate other than Archie Bradley right there. So, like, memorable moments, I like that as an argument.
But they play there in that regard. There, JD Martinez, he is not getting a triple on that. Maybe a base hit, because they're playing doubles ball on JD Martinez. You got to remember to Archie, he put one in the gap and they were playing up because a relief pitcher is not supposed to put one out there. And Archie is a good athlete. So he can make the game. A pitcher that hits can change the mentality of a game. And the game of baseball is so mental that it does change the dynamics of things.
I like this. I like the idea that this lightning in a bottle of Archie Bradley tripling is the argument of keeping that around. Because lightning in a bottle it's like why you watch sports, right? Is the unexpected thing that's going to happen.
I can tell you, I have 3 memories of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball that I think I will keep with me until I get old and crazy and start doing, old crazy guy stuff. Number 1 is Luis Gonzalez bloop single to win the World Series. I think that any Arizona Diamondbacks fan, that's got to be number 1. Number 2 is when Jay Bell hit a grand slam to win that lady $1 million. I remember that like I was watching it right now. And number 3 is when Archie Bradley hit a triple. I mean, are there any more iconic moments in Arizona Diamondbacks baseball? Number 4, I would say, would be Tony Womack. Okay, pretty much during the World Series and specifically during Game 7 when he hit that double to bring in the tying run.
I'd say Randy Johnson's perfect game would overtake that for me.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're right, because that's forever enshrined in history that he's one of a handful of guys to throw a perfect game, and he hit a dove.
Everybody knows that one. That's iconic across the board.
I don't know if he hit a dove or if he obliterated a dove.
He straight up cold-blooded murdered a dove. He assassinated a dove.
I think they should relax. Maybe not relax. I'm going to say relax, but that's not the right word. Relax the restrictions on steroids in baseball.
This is an out here take. I'm here for this.
I get player safety and all that, but like, let's just get a home run derby contest and be like, Mike Trout, you can take steroids for 2 months and let's see how far you can hit a ball. Or JD Martinez.
What if we just let this be like an amateur thing? Where we set, you know how they have those long drive contests in golf and it's never a real golf player? It's just a guy who can swing a club 100 miles an hour. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's let people just roid themselves to death for our entertainment.
They can do this. Like that's their whole motion.
Yes.
The ball flies.
They're so jacked that it's just all upper body. They can't even move their arms. They're so strong. I'm fine with that, but I don't want to see my favorite player's entire career cut short by 10 years because they're on roids.
We're gonna get okay, maybe that's the better way of doing it. Like we'll give a minor league guy and then let him have like a metal bat. And
there you go.
Launch okay, dude. My house is 20 miles from Chase Field. I want one to land in my backyard. Like, I will give you $20 to do that.
You are literally in the backyard of the Cleveland Indians summer or spring ball.
So like, there you go. Well, it'd be a foul ball. It'd have to be a foul ball, so they'd have to hit it the other way. But still, hit it this way.
Yes.
Put one on Bullard. If they could put one on Bullard Road, that would make sense. That's like a mile away.
Okay.
Or half a mile away. Get one out there.
This caveat of we're not using it for real Major League Baseball players. We're just using it for guy on the street because we want to see how hard a human being can hit a baseball.
Yeah. How far can one go?
Sacrifice your life expectancy so we can see how far this ball can go.
You might make it to 40, but that is a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
To watch you hit a ball on Bullard Avenue in Goodyear, Arizona.
Entertain me, clown. Like I've been pretty fortunate in that I've had a model father for the entirety of my life. My dad is one of his many good traits is that he's good with his grandkids. My daughter, that he's good with your daughter. That's one of a litany of things that I would point to as like him being an excellent father role model for me to try to reproduce and attain to. And I think that you have a similar situation. I think your dad also has been. I won't speak for you. In fact, I'll let you speak to that. Like you've got a dad that you would use as a role model. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my dad. It's so great. We've talked about this before. When I married into the Schlittenhart family, you're marrying into the family. So young men, you are marrying into the family. And your dad really replicates my dad in so many ways. They're great fathers. Mm-hmm. They're great grandfather. Not great grandfathers. That's not what I meant.
They are excellent grandfathers.
They're excellent grandfathers.
They are radical grandfathers.
They are radical grandfathers. They're loved by their grandchildren, and they love their grandchildren. You know, even when Chelsea and I started dating, I felt like I was a part of the Schlittenhart family. Based on many things, but also on your dad. We have great father figures in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Father's Day coming literally in 3 days. It's Thursday. Just coming around the bend.
Yep.
Let's using our model fathers that we've got and just I'll say general. We're expert fathers by this point, right? Like we figured it out.
I might not be the model father, but I am a father. I've got that I can put on my resume for sure.
Mm-hmm. I've got a certificate on my wall that says a father. Made it myself.
More than me. I don't even have that on my wall.
So let's build from the ground up. Let's go to the old mall kiosk. To the Build-A-Dad kiosk.
Yes.
Let's from the feet to the head build us the perfect dad.
What does that look like?
When we're done here, we're going to have the ultimate father robot, Terminator style. We're building us a D-1000.
Except for he won't be naked and crouched and want to come back and kill.
Let's not ham ourselves in here. Maybe we determine that's important for a dad.
Wow, we are on way different scales than in pre-production.
So, side note here, why are you and I so obsessed with the naked Terminator?
We brought this up a couple of times.
This is a couple of times we've talked about this.
That can't be coincidence because it's been led on by both of us. So we're obsessed with naked Arnold Schwarzenegger? I don't think I am obsessed with naked Arnold Schwarzenegger, but now I'm questioning myself.
I gotta edit this one out, right? You and I gotta save some face.
He's gonna want to sue us too.
True, he will. So let's head to that kiosk. Let's build. Like you gotta start from the ground floor here. I'm gonna start with start from the feet up here on old super dad.
Okay.
Extra dad.
Yes, extra dad.
extra dad. If you're a dad, you've got to have a couple of different pieces of key footwear, right?
Yep.
Like it's important that you've got your whatever your work attire is. Fine, you take your work boots, take your shiny shoes, but it is real important that as a dad, you've got a pair of hideously ugly but eminently comfortable slip-on kind of shoe, right? Like I'm thinking like Croc-esque. You got to start there as a dad. You don't own a pair of Tevas? What are you doing?
Are you even a dad?
Do you even have kids?
So first of all, can I comment on that? Because I agree 1,000,000%. I have 2 pairs of Crocs and I love both of them.
Attaboy.
And if you take either one, we're going to have some issues.
Attaboy.
Can I also amend on the foundation the fact that you need to have in your holster at least one pair of brand new spanking bleach white New Balances.
New Balance is key.
You have to have them.
Yeah, if you oh man, yes, without a doubt, you have to have that white pair that's like ankle high and has the blue N on it.
If you don't, you're not a dad.
That's it.
It's true. It's true. Yep. You have to have at least one pair. I'm gonna go with 2 pairs of Crocs that you can lounge out in, and on some occasions go to church in, which I have done.
Your church Crocs, and then your grilling Crocs.
That's exactly what I have.
Yep.
I have grilling Crocs and I have church Crocs.
Never the twain shall meet ever. Keep them
They've
separated.
never been in the same room. Been in the same room. Okay. We're working our way up.
We've got extra dad foundation. I don't like extra dad. We got to work on this a little bit. The poor man, maybe he'll have a name as we build him. Maybe that's it. We don't know him yet.
We don't know him yet.
His name
we're on
might
the
change by the
foundation.
time we get to the top. You're right. Okay,
so what kind of pants or shorts is he wearing? You are not an official dad, I don't think, until you have and own and wear proudly a nice, crisp pair of jorts.
The Brett Favres?
You need to own a pair of Brett Favres.
You do. You got to own some jorts.
Because it says, like, I understand that there's inclement weather, but also it's hot outside. So I need some breathing room within, my calf region. That's what.
I want short pants, but I want a lot of protection up top.
Yeah, you need that. But which you need a protection up top for kind of my next level, which is the belt region.
I like this idea. I think you could likely substitute it with just like a good pair of way too short cargo shorts. Like you got to have pockets, zippers, and in either case here, the color has to be akin to I've owned these since Nam, and I just refuse to get rid of them. They've been washed 400 times. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. They're the color I intended them to be now, not the one that I bought them at. It's a process.
This is the color they are. They match everything, and I can carry everything. Yeah. Love it. Okay, we're moving up to the waistline. Belt.
When you got shorts on, belts are optional, right?
Not if you're a dad. You have to have a belt.
You got to have a belt.
Here's why. You need something to clip on your cell phone.
Oh, this is right.
Do you remember clips on your
Do I remember? Dude, you still see those around.
Yes, you have to have your cell phone here clipped to your side. What if somebody calls you and you have an important message?
Yes, and my cargo pants are already full of everything else.
Because I'm carrying everything else. No, you can't put a phone in there.
I can't be digging in all kinds of pockets looking for who knows what.
You're pulling out mascara. Nope, not a phone. You're pulling out a diaper. How did that get in there? You're pulling out a used diaper. Where did that come from? You don't know. Boom, phone.
Exactly.
Hi, Mo. it's me. Like, boom, right there.
Without
So
a doubt.
I'm going with, you need a belt
Okay.
so you can clip your phone, have it right on your hip.
I wholeheartedly agree, which then too lends itself to what kind of accessories do you as a dad have to carry? Carmex, not chapstick, Carmex.
Why in the world would you ever carry chapstick?
Right. It's got to be Carmex.
Yep. And you need to have one that you've opened, one that you haven't opened. You can't find the open one, so you open the unopened one. And then 2 months later, you find the unopened one.
No, dude, stop it. This is too wrong.
You know I'm right.
I know
We've
you're right.
all been there. I've been there. We've all been there. I found a pair of chapstick in my cup holder. No, not cup holder, the console today.
That bad dog has melted and reformed 100 times in your truck.
And I used it.
Yep.
And I live in Phoenix. It's
Yep.
24,000 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
You betcha I used it.
Swiss Army pocket knife. The small one with the toothpick and the
Yep.
tweezers.
Yep. Never used the tweezers,
No, but you've got them just in
but
case.
they're there. Yep. You've used the toothpick more times than you want to admit.
That thing is so gross.
It's actually a shade of beige.
Yes.
And you're not sure because you've never actually seen your dad use it. I've never seen my dad use his toothpick, but he has it, and it's a weird color.
Mm-hmm.
So what other accessories does a dad need?
Those were the only two that came top of mind for me. You got other ones?
My dad always had cash. He always had cash.
Cash is king.
which is a fading entity now. Like it's not a thing anymore. Nobody carries cash, but my dad always had cash, no matter what.
I always read that a gentleman was supposed to carry cash.
And
One
I've
of the
read that too.
reasons being is that you should have small bills on your person at all time in case someone in front of you at the grocery store or other place of retail or whatever was unable to pay their bill. You could step in and pay it for them.
I like that.
Why can't I use my debit card for that though? Like it's 2020.
Because you're a dad.
I'm
and
a
you
dad.
Need cash.
You gotta use it in cash. Because
And
you gotta
that's the
have
way
the
it is.
motion of flipping it open and just being like,
Here's $1. Here's $3.
here's $1.
What you need.
$1.
Here's what you need. That's what you need. You needed $1, so I got you $1. Like my dad always had cash, and growing up, I'd be like, why? Now that I'm older, I'm like, I have cash now. It's my allowance, and I get cash, and I love it.
If Dave Ramsey's listening, he's like, attaboy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put them in envelopes too, Mark?
Yeah. Yep.
Well done.
Yeah, you're good. You're in good shape. All right.
I think those are the three critical items. Carmex, are they 3 C's? Cell phone, Carmex, and cash?
Oh, except for the Swiss Army knife.
Knife starts with a C if you believe. Oh, we're so close. I'm almost tempted to take it out now because I want the alliteration. Nope, gotta have it. That was the key piece. Like it's a critical piece.
What?
The knife is the critical piece here.
You cut cash out before you cut the knife out.
Sure. Okay, we've got a lower trunk on Mr. Dad.
On Mr. Dad.
We're moving up.
So what's he wearing up top? What I was envisioning was this was kind of a party, like a get together. Like they were having people over. It was their kid's first birthday, 2nd birthday.
Mhm.
Like they're having people over because if he's mowing the lawn, he's shirtless.
Sure. In the jorts.
You in jorts, and nobody questions it. But he's got to wear a shirt because people are over and they're talking to him.
It's a polo, right?
It's got to be a polo,
It's a
100%.
polo.
Yes. What's the polo? What color?
I think it's less about color and it's more about what is the logo on the polo. Like in my experience, it should be some kind of old like seed company, like cotton company maybe. That's what I'm thinking is something
free polo. Something he got given to him.
No, that's it. That's it. It's a free polo.
It was
something
free
that was
from
given
work.
to. Yes.
It was not. He didn't buy it.
That
didn't
is
go
correct.
to Target.
That's
he didn't. Somebody gave it to him. It has their logo that's like this big on the corner.
Yes.
And the color of the shirt is either white or pastel colored.
Yep.
Like some sort of pastel, like light, like blue, even light pink, maybe even light yellow.
Mhm.
Like it's a pastel-y color that he got for free because you are not going to go out and spend money on a polo.
This is the exact right answer. It is whatever it is. It was free.
So like for you, it was a seed company or a fertilizer company. For us, it was like a funeral company or, like had like a casket on it. Like, hey, let us bury you.
But we're okay with it. It didn't cost me anything.
It was
comfortable.
free. What do you want? And it's comfortable and it's cotton. So
Yep.
calm down. We are building the ultimate dad. This has been really good.
He's really
good.
coming together, isn't he?
Man, he's coming together.
I can
really
I
good.
can envision him.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I'm with it. So we're above the shoulders now. This is where it gets a little tricky for me. So what's dad? Does he have anything going on up here above the shoulder?
He's got sunglasses. He absolutely, because we're at this garden party or whatever it is his wife has thrown for the evening that he's obligated to attend.
Let's reiterate. The dad does not throw the garden party.
No.
The wife does, and you have dressed accordingly.
Correct.
This is the best that the dad can dress.
You have agreed to grill for the garden party.
I'm gonna get to grill in a minute, by the way,
In a minute?
because I have some things about the grill.
Oh, I thought you literally meant you were going to go get on your grill tonight and like smoke something for a couple 8 or 9 hours. I was real excited.
I might. You don't know. Come on down. I have a bunch of pork in my freezer.
A bunch of pork.
And it's just I'm gonna throw it all on the grill right now.
Let's go.
See what happens.
Well, maybe before we get to the head then, what has he got in his hands?
You have the nicest, freshest pair of tongs that you click a couple times to ensure that they work. You have that in your hand for sure.
You've got that in your good hand, in your strong hand, right?
Your strong hand, yeah.
You're right-handed. You're holding those bad dogs in your right hand.
Yep. And every like 3 or 4 minutes, you have to give them the click. Like,
Just
they
test
work.
them. Make sure
they're
they're
there.
still good.
Okay. Yep. So Mo, what's in the left hand?
The left hand is your beverage, but it's regardless of what you're drinking, it's important that it is encased in something. You've got that bad dog in a coaster. Also, something that could be free, some kind of giveaway, that would be fine. That would be ideal, in fact.
The same seed company on your
The same
polo.
exact one. Or whatever sports team, like it probably has their 1984 logo on it, though, because you've had this coaster since whenever. Also
It's-
acceptable to have one of the newer versions that like screw on the cool.
Yeah, okay. And it's
Whatever.
signed by somebody from the team from 1994.
Yes, by an offensive lineman.
Yeah, and you're like, who's that guy? I don't know. All right, yeah, he signed it. Cool.
He was at Bash's that day. He had a
was there,
table.
yeah. This dad has to have sunglasses,
Yes,
and he
that's a
has to
given.
have strings that are attached to it
Yep.
to where they will not fall off of his head. So the sunglasses, I'm going to give dads some credit on. Because every dad has different dimensions of what they like with glasses. Some like them skinny, some like them fat. I give you guys some leeway on how you like your glasses, but you have to have a string attached because what if you're grilling and then somebody says, "Hey Brody," and you turn really quickly, where are the glasses going to go? We don't know. But if you have a string attached, they're going to remain on your chest, and you can just easily put them back on and see.
It's important. It's important that you have these on a string, regardless of the style. They've got to be on a string.
That's number one.
Boy, I think you've got to have a hat too, right? I think you're required to have it at this particular party. You got to have a ball cap.
Okay. What's on it?
This is where the Uber dad starts to spend a little money. Up to now, we've had like free stuff. We're okay with the coaster. We're okay with the shirt. We've got pants from whenever long ago. But the hat, that's where you show like you can show a little bit of who you are and your personality there. It's probably related to a team, or it's probably related to a brand that you care about. Either one of those is a fine solution. I think Uber Dad is a team because it shows you're a sports guy.
Yes.
And dads have got to be sports guys to be like the perfect ultra dad.
Yes.
And the more obscure your sport is, and the less like prevalent that team happens to be, I think you get better points for it. So you like to wear hockey hats, which in Arizona, that gives you those extra points. If you're wearing a Cardinals hat in Arizona, you're whatever.
Right.
Yeah, okay, everybody likes the Cardinals, that's fine.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're wearing like a North Dakota State Bison hat, like you're going to set yourself apart.
All right. I noticed you like the North Dakota Bison. All right. Yeah, that's okay. Let's talk about that.
You from North Dakota? I spent some time in the Midwest, and then now instantly you've got a dad convo going on.
Done. Yes, I agree. The other thing, like that dads spend money on the hats. This is why we save till the end, that we start to get into a little bit of conflict with the wife of the situation or the mother of the situation, because I think I own like 67 hats somewhere in there.
That's a normal number.
Is that right? Okay.
That should be an average, I think. I think
My
you might be
wife-
a little below.
I just did a purge.
Okay.
So I had to get rid of some, and I did cry, but that's fine.
Mhm.
Chelsea says that's 66 too high because apparently I only have one head, and I can only wear one hat at a time. While valid, I think that this is where guys can, I've got a free shirt. I've got free shorts. I spent relatively no money on my shoes.
Mhm.
I've had the same socks since 1964. I mean, I'm cutting money wherever I can. I'm probably drinking light beer. Let me spend some money and get my team's hat.
Yeah.
This is my team's hat. Like, this is the latest Coyotes hat that I'm wearing right now. It cost me some money, but this is my hat.
Yeah.
And I love it. And, that I feel like I feel like the hat is a cornerstone of it all, because that's the first thing that dads see too.
It is. And it's what you focus on when you're in the midst of this party conversation too, because you're looking someone in the eye. Dads maintain eye contact. We don't care about what you're wearing down below your face. But if I got to look at you in the face, I want to see a cool hat.
Yeah. I need to know, where did you get that hat?
It's as much
Where
a
did you
sign
get
of
that?
respect to your other dads to do it too, to give them something worth looking at.
True. That's true. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. Like, if I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about, all I can think about is that is a cool hat and I need to get one of those.
Yep.
Like, that is a sign of respect to your fellow dad.
Mm-hmm.
True story. True story. So we have built the complete dad. Let's review it one more time. We're at a dinner party or garden party. Apparently that's a thing. I did not know.
I don't
that.
know why no one on Earth or in the entire state of Arizona has ever held a garden party. Why I went there, I have no idea. Just first birthday was way better.
Yes. Yes. So yes, we're at our child's birthday party. Let's say first birthday, pre-COVID, before everything.
Back when we saw people.
Yeah, when people were real. Mo, what is his name? That might be right.
Randy.
I feel like his name has got to be Mr. something.
Mr. Randy doesn't really roll off
Mr. Randy.
Mr. Randy. Oh man. It's got to be something just grounded and rooted in traditional dadness.
I feel like Mr. Bill. Is Bill a thing?
But Mr.
No.
Bill is a character from Saturday Night Live who dies a lot. Do you remember this? This is an obscure reference.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like Robert is pretty good because then everyone's just
Bob.
gonna call him Bob.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Mr. Robert.
Mr. Robert.
So he's Mr. Robert. Everybody calls him Bob. There's your complete dad. Bill the dad.
Bill the dad. Bob a dad.
We are on the weekend of Father's Day. Do you have any last advice for any future fathers, prospective fathers, current fathers? Advice on Father's Day, your thoughts before we get out of here.
Do not make Father's Day a big deal or about you. Allow whatever the people in your life want to make this day, but don't put any expectations on it. Like, who cares? Who cares what happens? If they want to throw some big thing for you, great. If they don't want to do anything for you, enjoy being able to spend a Sunday with your family. Don't make it about you. If someone else wants to make it about you, great. If they don't, still great, because you get to be a dad. You've already won.
That's the best. My grandfather used to say the same thing about Father's Day. My grandfather hated Father's Day, by the way, but he would just be like, "Hey, it's you get to be a dad, and you get to be a positive influence in the most direct way on somebody's life. Be that dad." And that's I think is very important for all dads to understand. You have the most direct influence of perhaps any other human being that's ever walked the face of the earth when you see that daughter or son of yours. Be a positive role model to them.
Yep. So I guess the only other thing I would add to that then is that thank you to my dad for always having done that.
Thank you to your dad, and thank you to my dad
for putting together an example that I will never be able to hit, but have something to aspire to.
And your dad has treated me like I was one of his sons since Chelsea and I started dating, and I thank him for that. And I thank my dad for raising me and Cole together, even during difficult times. I want to, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to my dad. And Mo and I wouldn't be here without our father. So thank you.
Brody, we created the perfect dad today. We built him. We can rebuild him.
We can
make
rebuild
him faster, stronger, more dad-like.
We created the ultimate dad.
We created ultimate Mr. Robert dad.
Bob, you are forever here.
We also settled the DH debate, which is kind of cool. Like, it's been raging for years and years, and we just came to a pretty simple conclusion. If more people just listened to what we had to say, we'd probably solve a lot of issues.
Yeah, we would. We would. The pressing issues of the world, including the DH.
When we conversate about the pressing issues of today, people need to listen. Brody, take us out. What's the number of the week?
So here's my number of the week. My number of this week is 5. And here's how I came up with 5, Mo.
Okay.
It is Father's Weekend. Our fathers have fathered 5 children between the two of them. Your dad has had 3 kids. My dad has had 2 kids. And by my simple math, that equals 5. So this is going to go out to our parents, our fathers. We love you guys. I hope you all know that. We are proud of our fathers. Thank you to every father out there. It takes a very special person to be a father. So we're going to send this off to our fathers, the father of 5. Here we go. and da 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 1 and da 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 1 da 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 2 da 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 2 now $3 here da 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 3 and da 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 3 da 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 4 da 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 4 da 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 now $5 and da 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 5 here da 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 6 da 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 6 da da 6 and I have here da 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 6 sold it. 5 kids.
Everybody, thanks again for listening. Thanks to our new subscribers from last week. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode. Hope you enjoy this episode. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at bmils2020@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter @InlawShow. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.